All right, back again. What's up, stream? We're here. I'm gonna be doing some customs money runs. I'll do a customs run on my Scav, do one on my PMC, show you all how we can make some easy money and how I can approach the raid with lower level gear. So we talked last, I guess it was on Tuesday, about doing more reserve content, and basically I've been doing research for it in, you know, the extra time that I've been creating, and I want to spend more time in getting the route a little bit more firm in terms of like what I want to showcase on the live streams, or even how I want to practice. So I've been doing, you know, a fair bit of research, but I have more to go, and I'm going to get a friend of mine to support me with it, just to make sure that I have all of the locations down right. So I'm going to delay doing live reserve map stuff for, I don't know, it'll be a session or two. We'll see how it goes. I definitely have some school stuff, you know, that I'm making sure I take care of, and I'll be able to devote a bit of time to it over the next little while. But yeah, I just want to make sure that I can do it right, basically. I hope you all are having an awesome night. Like I said, we're going to start into some Scav content here pretty quick. So it's going to be similar to what you've seen before, more money-making tutorial style. And the whole purpose, or the whole point of this, is to be able to show folks how they can go about making money in the game, and you know, we'll make it as approachable as possible. So you know, the way that I'm going about this is I'm not running around the map like a madman doing things that new players can do pretty early on. It's going to require a bit of map knowledge, obviously, but this is something that you can pick up really quickly. So that's yeah, that's the premise of what we're doing here. I know that some folks, whenever they're first getting in, find Tarkov to be quite difficult, and I think that learning to make money in the beginning is one of the ways to offset some of that difficulty. So that's what we'll be doing here. Just give me one more moment. We'll be set and ready to go. Just clearing up my stash a little. It's a bit something. Basically that there. Okay, I think we're ready to go. Oh, what's up, stream? I finally got the haircut too. Oh man, been waiting for that one. So I'm gonna hop onto a Scav right away, and we'll go through a little money run. I was reaching out to somebody that was asking about budget kits on Reddit recently, and I recommended probably my favorite one. You know, I'll run it on my PMC here right after this raid, but it's basically like a tier 3 kit, nothing fancy, all like, you know, the lower level stuff. A few things off of the flea, not much, but mostly from traders. So this is, you know, level 10 required, level 1 trader only. And then the 3 things that I buy off of the flea are a rig, I buy a weapon, and then I buy some ammo. And that's what I'm going to do with the loadout that I get going with on my PMC for the second run of tonight. And you know, he replied back. He's like, that's too much. And for context, the gun that I was recommending is the RPK, which runs about 40 or 50k. And when I started out playing Tarkov, like I totally wanted to play as cheaply as possible. I was using guns that were like, you know, close to 20k, close to 30k, as cheap as I could make it, right? I was trying to go as budget as possible. And as I played longer, I realized that there's a kind of a middle ground. An easy way to describe this would be the comparison between using like a duffel bag or a tea bag when you're going into raid. So it's obviously a really small container versus using something like a Scav backpack. And what you start to learn is that there's sort of like a lower end tier of gear that holds you back even as a new player learning. And so what you want to do is create a sustainable amount of income in the game to be able to fund what I would consider an appropriate low tier loadout. So there's like low tier and then there's sub low tier. And so what I'm hoping to show people is how to get away from sub low tier so that you can be making more money and find more success on Tarkov. Because let's face it, that I mean, like I've said this many times, the game's no fun whenever you're broke. And I think having like sub low tier gear, so low tier and then one step down would be like probably what I'm wearing right now, right? So having a cheap pistol, a rig, a super small backpack, like this is very low potential gear. We're going to turn it into something different in a scav run, and it's possible to do that in a PMC run. But as a PMC, you have the luxury of setting yourself up a little bit better, and it's not as expensive as you think it is because of insurance. And you know, we'll talk more about that as we go. So anyways, scav run, first thing I'm going to do is hotkey my meds. I'm going to check my weapon, my ammo, make sure I know what's going on here. And I just hover my cursor over top of bandage, press 6. That's where I like to put my light bleed bandage. And if you're still not sure about the meds in the game and you're trying to figure out like what the heck does all this stuff do, on the left we can see that there's a use time. So this is literally how long it takes us to apply the bandage. And on the right we can see what it does. So this stops bleeding. And I just noticed that the timer clicked over to 9 or to 10 minutes. So this is going to be like a running raid. And I've heard a lot of people complain about 10-minute raids, so I'm gonna make the best of this one. So we gotta go to Old Road or Scav checkpoint. The problem with a 10-minute raid is that you have to be mobile the whole time, and you really need to know where you're going. So understandably, if you're still learning the loot, you might run into some issues. I've got all my elements hidden right now. Yo, what's up, Wolf? First time I found you live. Started new to Tarkov, learned customs, but still have issues finding stashes and crates. It takes some time, definitely. So we see some movement up at the top. We don't know if it's a player or not. My main goal with this run is to not really focus on... Okay, so we know that it's a player now, or something along those lines. And I'm going to quickly turn this on. Always shown, always shown, always shown. So we don't need players to make money. We're gonna keep hitting these caches, which might be all hit already. And so we'll see how good we can make the run, even though you definitely need to take some time in offline mode to find the caches. And for me, what I ended up doing was I found a video guide that, you know, I felt represented the caches in a way that like was approachable for me. So, you know, it was laid out well, gave me enough context, because that's part of the hard, that's like the hard part, right? It's figuring out like where the heck are they in relation to where I am, and do I even know where I am? And that can be a challenge when you're following any guide. This guy's stuff now belongs to us. We need it. Sorry, bro. Uh-oh, there's another one. Might be in trouble. Surprised I'm not dead. He's got a shotgun too. Blow up, please. See, an offline map with a video guide on a second screen is going to be the easiest way to go about that. There's a ton of good tutorials for finding them, but basically, so you need to go through and, you know, find a few of them, reinforce your knowledge while playing the game. This is all, you know, memory and learning stuff. You're basically doing homework, right? So that part, I totally understand the difficulty. But it's something that you just like, you'll have to spend some time and figure it out. And I mean, I'm going to go to every stash possible on the way to Scav checkpoint. And I think I have just enough time to like really make this decent. So we're starting to get, you know, some better stuff here. See what we can do. Notice that I'm using control click for everything that I'm taking. And if possible, we're going to try and get a bigger backpack and a rig to wear, as well as an extra rig inside our backpack, but we might not have enough time. So that what that'll mean is that I'm going to be min-maxing my space. Yeah, I had issues finding the stuff in the beginning too. I think everyone does. Oh, hello. Hello. I think the ghost mask is actually worth about 10k, so what I'll probably end up doing is ditching my half mask and wearing the ghost mask. So yeah, shorter raids are tough, especially for newer players, because you don't know the value of loot. What do you got? Opachki. What do you have, sir? Actually, equip, get rid of, equip. Oh! Hallelujah! And we're off to the races. So a couple things that I did there mechanics-wise is I used control-click. Or sorry, not even control-click. I just used alt-click. But I quickly did the spatial math to figure out where I should be putting this stuff. And now that I'm here, I'm going to search this while I'm looting. And I think we're doing actually okay for time. Now that I've got that, I'm going to get going again. But yeah, take the time in offline mode. Really should keep my hand on my mouse. At any point I could see a dude. This will all be over. Take the time in offline mode and find the caches with a video guide, and then, you know, do as many runs as you need in order to burn it into your memory, and then reinforce it in the game, obviously. So in this case here, I'm grabbing a splint just because it could end up being useful for me if I do take some sort of damage here, break a leg in the last 4 minutes. So there's a cache off to the left. 4 minutes. Maybe. So when I started the raid, there were a couple of caches that were hit right away, and sometimes you'll come and do one of these raids and they'll all be gone. So you'll run into a raid or two here and there while your knowledge is still low on the adjacent loot, that you won't be able to make up a good run. You'll end up kind of with a poor run, and that's okay, right? Like that's just gonna happen from time to time. So control click, don't need the rest. I will run into, I would say 1 in every 30 raids will be like poor for me on a scav run. I don't do many of them anymore. I mostly do them for this kind of content, but you can make up the problem runs with knowing the adjacent loot, like that container that I just found right there. Like, I knew where that toolbox was, so you'll need to learn where that stuff is. These 10-minute raids present a challenge, like I said at the beginning, where if you don't know where the loot is, you're going to run into problems with how much you can potentially get in the amount of time that you have. Like, if I could only run 10-minute raids now, I would. But understandably, I think newer players would like to have some raids that aren't. And if you're wondering why I'm moving stuff around here, it's because I'm trying to take advantage of my space in the most optimal way possible. So the containers that are hidden, I put the loot that I'm like confirmed going to keep, and then the rest of it I'm just trying to min-max my space. And even though like I had some empty space, I still got rid of that one mask. Because I have a feeling that none of these are hit. And I'm just going to keep going and trying to min-max my space. Put the Nixer in here. None of this stuff's any that great. Yeah, what's up, Gucci? Oh, that toolbox is hit. Yeah, dude, I remember when I first started, I like, you know, I would mess up and I couldn't find an extract. That sucked. There were a couple of things. Like, I found that I went MIA a few times more than I should have. So I'm just getting rid of, like, ammo magazines who don't need them. Got a minute 40 here, so it's still enough time. So things that I'm benefiting from right now are, I I use the control and alt click mechanics consistently all the time. I'm pushing this one right here, but I know the travel time of my character. Oh, that one's hit. So those two things are speeding me up and allowing me to make decisions right now. Like if I was a newer player, I'd be like, okay, a minute left, just go to your extract. Like make sure you get out with the loot. But yeah, the control and alt click is going to make you faster at looting. So if you don't do that 100% of the time, keep working on that one. That would be like my first mechanical recommendation that people work on. It's important too. It matters both on just like loot runs, and then it matters on your PMC, like, you know, big kit runs too. Got 44 seconds. Let's see what we can get out of the last of this. That's it. Oh. 30 seconds. I can still hit this toolbox. So this is my extract right here, I believe. Wouldn't that be awful? Yeah, scav checkpoint. 20 seconds. I'll ditch these mags if there's anything good in here. Pliers, screws, sure. To see an estimate of what we made here, 566,348. So mostly hitting loot caches. I do toolboxes are like so good. I love hitting duffel bags, like basically any container. For whatever reason, I find that weapons crates are kind of like meh. And then like in terms of what we got lucky with here, maybe the P90 in the crate. Yeah, kind of. Like, you know, it's definitely a good weapon because that'll sell for a bit. The armor and the cotton mask, that was huge on the scav, and that was just like a random scav. And I think that the ones that spawn in later generally will have slightly better loot. And then the rest of this is like, you know, pretty average, I would say. And we definitely got to min-max a bit on the run. So this is great. I'm going to quickly sell, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop over to my PMC with a budget kit. And so this is going to be like a level 1 trader flea market access kit. And I'll show you what I would do. And again, so when we were talking at the very beginning of the stream, is one of the goals with showing money runs like this, or getting people, like encouraging people to learn this. I think I actually have to stash another gazelle, so that's kind of nice that I have that. I'm gonna grab one of these bags I'm working through right now and see if I can distribute some of this stuff. That can be on my person. BT rounds we're gonna use. Maybe I'll put those out there. You can go there, you can go there. Optic, I don't know, maybe. So optics at this point are actually like quite affordable, but I'm still gonna use a really cheap and budget optic for this run. I'm gonna get rid of this, get rid of this. So for my gear, I'm going to wear something quite realistic. I will not take all of this stuff. Let's get rid of you. I think I can just save this for later. Had a pretty good reserve run earlier today. And I'm just going to buy everything from scratch that I need for this run, aside from the helmets, because I don't have any in my budget. My budget armors. Let's see, you can go there. I just want to... this is the rig I'm actually going to use. So this rig is awesome. Slight upgrade from the bank robber that you would get. So level 1 ragman. So again, this is like level 1 traders plus flea market access. So this would be your level 10 run that I'm going to do here. So level 1, if we look, the bank robber's 10k. Now these, so if you just go to the flea market, type in war, what we're looking for is the Wartech gear rig TV 109, TV 106. There's another TV rig, but it's like a big expensive rig. So this one's, you know, somewhere between 10 and 13k. You can usually like wait and try and snipe one of them even less. Look at that, 9k. Awesome. So we're gonna use this one, and then for the armor, I just need to make a little bit of room. I am going to type in, and this is my favorite recommendation too for budget. So we want the Zuck. And if you're like, why isn't anything popping up? It's usually your filters up here at the top. So I'm just going to get rid of that Vortec rig one. So we want the Zuck 3 press armor. And I'm going to try and find one that's like kind of near the top that I don't need to repair too much. I think. Yeah, this is fine. And these are starting to get a little more expensive now. Maybe they'll drop down a little bit more, but usually they're around 30k. Regardless, no matter how much these are, until they like get to be always like, I don't know, 70k. Like that's stupid. I hope nobody buys that. Like 40, 50k, these are totally worth. So whenever I repair them, I'll just go with proper. That being said, if it's if I'm in like the top 25% of my armor repair, I will use mechanic. But paying 15k for this armor doesn't make sense. So do a little repair there. I'll click it. Headphones. I'm just gonna sell these really quick. We're going to use the cheapies. So we're getting pretty close to our kit. I will not use my higher level meds. I'm just gonna use. I'm gonna use the stuff that is budget, and I'll probably try and take like the 4x4 setup here, just to, you know, like if you're playing on a standard account, I want this to try and be approachable. So the gun that we're gonna use, I think I already have, and I'll show you how much it would be if we were gonna buy. Rid of you. Bye gun. Okay, now we can put this gun in here. Little space saving technique. I know my stash is just a mess. I'm sorry. So I've taken my grips, my pistol grips off of these guns, and the way that I reattach them is always through the modding menu. So standard RPK from the flea market. So we're looking at 53,000. These will go a little bit cheaper and a little like. So if you ever see one of them, and it's got. I don't think there's any here. Well, that one's got a mag. But some of them will be sold with their drum mag on them, like these ones right here. So this drum mag sells for 19k. If you see one of these for like 50, 60k, like just pick it up, sell the drum mag immediately, and then you get 20k back, which is awesome. My favorite armor. What's up, Carlos? Yeah, the press armor. It's great, dude. And this is like, it's the best leveling task armor. It's like the best value. It almost always comes back in insurance, and so like considering the insurance thing, you can like, so if you buy armor for 50k and you die, the armor didn't cost you 50k if you get it back. So I built out this formula a while ago that if you know that you get, let's say you get your item back 100% of the time, then your item only costs however much it costs to repair. Like the initial cost, yes, but you divide the initial cost over like the amount of functional raids that it can provide you. So, you know, if the armor was 50k and it was going to last us for 5 raids, then it's actually only 10k per raid in how much I'm risking. So you can consider this when you're thinking about your budget gear and you're like, oh, I'm spending a little more than I think, but like you're not. You're spending less than you think. And because I'm wearing tier 3, at least I'm going to survive some scavs ammo. Top gear like players, you're not going to survive with like even tier 4 armor, so don't worry about it so much. Tier 3 is like, it's great. Tier 4 is going to be better against scavs later on, and then, you know, you'll run into some players with bad gear. But anyway, so we got our RPK stock. Basically, haven't changed anything on it. All I'm going to do is put an optic on this and then use it. So it's going to be around 70 recoil. But the optic that we can get from tier 1 or level 1 proper, I think, is this guy right here. Yeah, this is the one we're going to use. And this is it, right? So the problem that you'll run into at the beginning of the wipe are mags for this, but now the mags they're not expensive. In the beginning, people charge a lot for them, but if you just go and get some, like, you know, whatever 30 round mags, let's find the cheaper ones on the flea market. So look, like you can get them for like 3,000 ish, which is sweet, right? And I'm just gonna get 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. the rounds that I would get as well. So I'm going to use I'm using the flea market. So linked search will find anything that would fit with this particular item. So you'll notice here that the mag fits with a weapon and the mag also fits with ammo. So linked search is really good. Use that. BT rounds. And I know a lot of people will be like, oh, 250 a round. Like that's kind of expensive. I don't need these. I'm just buying them anyways. But like, this is not expensive for a decent round. So you're gonna have to just wrap your head around the fact that that's not a bad price. In fact, it's like, you know, it's really, really cheap. But anyways, we're gonna pack our mags up. I'm gonna have some backup ammo in my gamma. We have 90 rounds here. Gotta make sure to plug one into the gun. And then we've got another 60 rounds here. 150 rounds. It's not a lot, but it will do. Oh yeah, and I guess we can upgrade this just a little bit more if we wanted to. I'm gonna run a stock, but if you wanted to spend 10k more, skier level 1. Actually, yeah, 10k more. So you would get this Zenith RK6. So you get 1 extra recoil, 5 more ergo, and you would get this little guy right here, the RP1. So this is ergo. Ergo is going to be your like aim down sights time, and then recoil is, you know, your vertical recoil is being a little more manageable. Tarkov is hard but fun. I remember crossing the bridge, seeing 3 bodies, and I say, wait, what happens here? I didn't hear any shots. Dude, I remember like running up on some bodies once, and I was like a new player. I was like, oh my gosh, all this loot. And I like laid down, like I scouted it out too. I laid down, started looting, and this dude was hiding in the back of a vehicle. I'll try and point it out during the raid. It's like, now I see what happened here. This guy set this up. So for meds, there's one med that you unlock, I think, in level 1, which is this car med kit, which we're going to use. So you might not have this. I guess I'm gonna cheat a little bit, but you could totally replace this with just a couple AI2s. I'm gonna use a car med kit and 1 AI2. I'm gonna get 2 regular bandages. I'm gonna get 2 regular splints, and I'm gonna get 1 painkiller. Oh, and I need 2 of these heavy bleeds. So like a lot of like little incremental amounts of money. I totally understand, like, you know, people don't want to spend money in Tarkov, but this is why I'm trying to teach you to make the good money. Let's see here. Painkiller, where'd you go? Yeah. Just don't see it. Didn't buy it. Don't see it. Didn't buy it. I don't know. We'll get another one. Thought I bought it. Equip it. Okay. All right. I'm not going crazy. This is pretty close to my standard loadout. If you'd found a couple of grenades, you know, when I was new, I would just take 1. So let's do that. And then this is good. Always wear a mask. Mask is going to make your face stand out a little bit less. I mean, we have blue armor on, so we're going to stick out a little bit, but we may as well make it so that our face is covered. And masks generally won't cost you much, if anything, if you keep doing something called insurance frauding. So I think we're good now. I'm not going to worry about my inventory. That's going to be a mess, but we'll deal with it when we come back. We do need to take our extra meds that we grabbed. So I'm going to carry a few extra things in my backpack. And this is, you know, if you don't have the space, the priority for me is the CMS. So if you're unfamiliar with these, it doesn't say here what it does, I guess, but this will take a blacked out limb and repair it and make it a 1 of whatever. I think it reduces the HP of the limb by almost 50%, which is pretty big, but you get the limb back, and then it starts at 1 HP, which, you know, you just heal. So it allows you to stay in the raid for longer. These are like one of the essential items for most people. I've got a long use or long duration pain killing item. So you can see on the left, we got an HP resource, which you can see there too. Use time, that doesn't matter. Energy, that's important. We want to know what it's doing to our character. And then removes pain. So that's 300 seconds of if my character experiences pain, I will ignore it. And you get pain when you have a break on your character, so that'll make your vision go fuzzy. And then also when you remove pain from your character, he'll ignore the effects of a broken limb. So some people will use this if they know they're about to go into a bad fight, or some people will pop it in reaction to a bad fight. You know, depends on the situation. So I think we're good here. Always a scav backpack, and let's go get into the raid. So I'm gonna show you what I would be doing to level up, and I was doing this on my standard account. I actually have a brand new account that I've been planning to play a little bit more too, but in the essence of saving some time, we're just gonna do this. I really should be using the tasking weapon that I need. Ensure everything. Maybe the only exception would be something that's not going to come out of your gamma, but otherwise ensure everything. It's totally worth it. You're like, oh, again, like 30,000. Insurance can make you money, and hopefully, fingers crossed, I can show you how to do that. So the only thing that I'm a little bit concerned of is my med amount, and let's say we've found a... Let's say we found one of these guys. Let's do this. So I'm not going to take the long use painkiller. I'm going to take an extra med. So, you know, you probably have an IFAC kicking around that you found. We're going to take that there just in case. The choices that I've made here are mostly built on survival and effectiveness while like keeping my costs low. So this is like my most budget loadout I would ever take, like once I have access to this stuff. And the RPK is sweet. It's probably one of the best guns for the cost in terms of functionality. So definitely recommend it. If you know you're trying to go much more budget, you can totally do the like PP19 with the PST GZH, which is like your basic 9mm ammo. You can do an SKS with 7.62x39 PS, which is another budget ammo. I think it's 88 rubles a bullet, which is like probably the cheapest good ammo that you can get. Good. And then there's also maybe like an 8R with M855, and all of these things are available at like low levels. But this is like, yeah, this is my go-to tasking gun. I actually have this gun sitting in my inventory, upgraded in the way that I run like my budget tasking weapon. I'll show that after. Leveling traders is challenging for sure. Which version of the account do you have, Phantom? And Interchange is like probably one of the scariest but also coolest maps, in my opinion, for the game. And the reason why it's scary is because there's so many dark corners, and until you have a really good knowledge of the map, it can be hard to play. Someone was asking me the other day, or someone was mentioning, they're like, hey, can I get a guide on Interchange? Like, I just want someone to show me around. And I said, like, I mean, there's probably going to be a time when you go in with a guide and your guide dies, and then you're effectively a dead player on Interchange. Like, you might be able to make it to the extract, but I mean, there's a really good chance you're going to die, especially if you're stuck in the mall. So I was like, if you want a guide, awesome, but first take your time, go learn the map, and then like play with the guide. And you don't need to learn like everything of the map, but you should have some familiarity with it. Going into a map blind is just like, it's awful. And you know, that's what Tarkov sets you up for, but you don't have to if you're willing to go and take some like study time, as it were. Again, like you basically need to do homework for Tarkov. Oh, you got EOD, nice. That gives you an advantage right there with the trader rep. This is something I forget about. And in my standard account leveling, I'll probably experience what it's like for a majority of players. But yeah, Tarkov leveling is tricky. If you're finding it really difficult on a particular map, you know, the easy way out would be to load in, find a bush that's gonna conceal your character, and then like chill there for 20 minutes while you watch a video, reply to your emails, do some homework, read a book, whatever. Like, you know, just chill there for 20 minutes, even longer if you want, and then go play the raid. Makes it a lot easier. So always check your gun. And I'm gonna get going pretty quick here. Oh, nice. Salua. That's sweet. Oh, please let me in. So I'm just going to take that one down. That's going to be my backup med now. I'm going to keep all my survival items kind of towards the top. And all my loot items towards the bottom. So this building I'm going to be running around really quick, but for the majority of the raid I'm going to try and play it quite methodically. Nice. Screwdriver. These are actually helpful right now. The other things, you'll notice that I'll leave behind some loot. When you have empty space, that's kind of a mistake, but I'm being like picky. So if you're at level 10 and you can't get CMS kits, might be a foolish choice. But I'm gonna move my CMS out because I'm just gonna play with the 4 squares right now. I'm gonna pretend that I don't have the extra account. And what I've done basically is the CMS kits cost me about 15k to make, so I've just done the math. This is worth 12k-ish. Now I've got another item in here, so we've increased the value. I don't know what I'm hearing. Did it just rain? So I want to get out of this vulnerable position, kind of in and close to cover. Most of the time when I run, it's when I'm like overly vulnerable, but if I have cover around me, I'll just methodically walk the map. So I heard what sounded kind of like footsteps on gravel, like very faint, which didn't make sense. I thought they should be louder, but you know, it never hurts to take your time and wait. Let's see. Well, that's fun. What? Okay. What do I want to get rid of? So let's keep you. I don't really want to carry both of these guns, so I might. So this is worth 50k. I think this is worth like 80k. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this mag out. So I don't want someone to kill me with this gun later. The DT MDR is a great gun. That's like probably my favorite budget 5.56 weapon. Let's see what kind of ammo is given. Just get rid of those. Cool. Just a quick hop to the right. We're gonna avoid that stuff on the left. We're just gonna go hit loot caches. I could keep going in on the left of the map. But it's totally not needed. Sounds like someone's maybe up there in the trees. Yeah, 2 things keep me alive: hearing and always thinking there's another. That is the best the best like approach you can make in Tarkov, I think. There's always another. If you assume that there is, you'll always play smarter, right? I made the mistake plenty of times where I, you know, made a play, had some loot, decided it was time, and then I got smoked by the dude that was laying there waiting. This rain's really tripping me out. I always hated this stash when I started, too. I felt like I was going to get bopped on it every single time. Don't need any of that stuff. I do have my delete key rebound, so it's available to me by the press of my thumb. And that was kind of a dangerous peek. If someone was in there and watching this hole, I might have died there. I'm going to move forward up on the left. Go prone on this cache. Yeah, changing position is huge. Oh, look at that. That's nice. Alright, so we've got some backup ammo, and we've got some nice bullets. So I'm just going to take the time and load them in. Top-loading your magazine with better ammo is one way to make your character more effective and keep your costs down, because this ammo that I'm loading in here is quite expensive. 5.45 is not a great caliber compared to the other weapons of the game, but it functions. And so what I'll end up doing here is I'll hit an enemy with the first, you know, seven or 8 bullets of a high penetration ammo, which in theory, like, will allow me now to take down a very high level character. Notice again, I'm positioning my higher value items towards the top. So basically everything down here is worth 10k a square. Everything above is not. And then as I need, I'm going to get rid of these items. I'll get rid of these items. I guess this is worth about 10k, but I'll keep it in that 1 square space. So I'm going to keep trying to min-max my space. And I have a system so that if I need to drop things, then I know where to go. I should be careful about dropping my splints and my bandages. Like, the reality is I need these things right now, but when I get closer to the end of the raid or to my extract, so come up, getting a good look around me. Someone could have moved into this space right here while I had my head down. Just going to quickly check on the other side of the wall. Most of the attachment pieces, like this right here, won't let me check it, but like this part of the gun where my mouse is, most of these are not worth taking out of the raid. Most of them. Not all, but like most. Grab another screwdriver for now. Like this right here. I'd say as like a general rule, I wouldn't bother. So the hardest part of my raid is finished already. It's like the first 5 minutes. If I'm going to run into some big burly dude with a lot of crazy gear on, you know, I will just lose some situations. It's not to say that you can't beat that guy. In fact, I've been that guy and been beat by somebody that had, like, you know, the cheapest of kits, like no risk whatsoever, barely a gun and anything else. So you can get them. Just the chances aren't that great. Sometimes, though. So this is like probably one of the riskier spots too. If someone was coming down this hill and saw me coming up this way, they'd have a really good shot. They'd be in an advantageous position against me, but you know, scouted, kept a look to the left as much as possible. Oh my. So this, we're going to get rid of you. We're going to put you there. We're going to put you in there. This is some of the most expensive ammo in the game. And then we'll get rid of this PS, these PS rounds. And since we found a Salua, I'm going to get rid of one of my bandages. We're going to leave this other screwdriver. So we're doing pretty decent for loot. Every time that I do loot these containers, I am gaining experience. So if you're like a brand new player and you're trying to level up even to level 10, just grab whatever you feel comfortable taking in. Even like, you know, the stuff that I wouldn't wear, like the P.A.K.A. Because I don't think the P.A.K.A. is really worth it. But if that's all you have, then it's totally worth it. If you can do better, that's when you choose to not do, you know, the low bar stuff. The problem with a P.A.K.A. is it won't protect you against a lot of Scav ammo. So that's why people will tell you that it's not worth. It'll protect you against some, but not a lot of it. Cigarettes, no. M80s are valuable. Oh, what do we do? 40 M80 at, I think it's 400 a round. I guess it's just 16,000. Maybe we'll do that. So I gain experience for looting the container. I also gain experience for picking the items up. If you're really trying to min-max your experience, then put your stuff that you're planning on keeping like in the container. Grab the other thing. So like, I'll show you for example. So like grab this. Oh, this is ammo that we would use. Interesting. Grab that. Unload. So I would grab this and then I would discard whatever else that I need. This is tough. I wish that I had... I'm forcing myself to not use that space. I really want to. Get rid of you. And... oh, not the bandage. Get rid of one splint. I might regret that. What I really want is a rig. A rig for my backpack to increase my space. So a little bit dangerous around here. I'm gonna sprint left just a bit, head into yet another cache. And this would be an easy way to both earn money and level up your character. So if you're still trying to get to that level 10, you could spend the time, learn where these caches are. And you know, you need to sell stuff to traders, so you're not going to make the most profit by using the flea market, but you can still definitely make use of everything. Oh, look at that, a serve kit. And whiskey. So I think at this point, I'm gonna defer, like, so I'm gonna get rid of this med. You wouldn't do this if you didn't have access to any of these meds. This would be foolish. But this is worth 18k a square. You know, this would be nice to take. If I had only the alpha container, I wouldn't bother. I'm just gonna throw this on the ground. Serve kits are tricky. They're super useful, but unless you can put them in your secure container, they're not going to benefit you. That would certainly benefit me for the raid, and I think that they sell for about 27,000, so it's a little under 10k a square. It would just be something that I could use in the raid. That one's a really weird choice. The Mauser with sights and BS is fun for 2 taps and 3 taps. What gun is the Mauser? Am I, I think I'm missing out on a gun name that I just don't know. Yeah, I'm assuming you're talking about 545 BS. It's pretty decent. Like, any weapon can be good if you hit somebody in the face. Just, there's a lot of weapons that shoot better, faster, have better control. Ammo's more available. Like most people will tell you to never take the gun that I'm using right now if you have access to better. So an RPK is kind of like the Uber budget, but it's perfect for low level. The next gun that people say is like, you know, once you have the ammo unlocked, you're gonna want to run the 855A1 ammo that you can buy from the traders. The first from Peacekeeper, and then you can buy it from Skier for pretty cheap. So another dangerous spot on the map. Could get caught from really anywhere here. I kind of want to check the gas station. Yeah, we're going to do it. This might be our undoing. Feeling a little vulnerable on my backside, so I'm just going to take a couple steps to get closer. And we're getting in there. So I know all this ammo, no good. If I needed these items, I would definitely take them. Cap's worth around 12k. I think we're good for items. We're basically just going to take stuff that feels really like a substantial upgrade. Careful fighting on this angle. This angle sucks. You can get shot and blasted in the legs and not have any view on anyone. Is that a dude? No. Alright. Nothing going on here. Gas station can be a busy location on customs because Reshala will spawn there. Making sure I clear all my corners as I walk by. Or at least keeping my gun ready. I wasn't aiming down sights there, but I was ready to shoot. Since we're here, so I would get screwed if there was a dude right behind that wall portion right there. Nothing worth taking. The reason why I say that I would have gotten screwed in that situation is because I was running. It created a lot more noise. And I know that someone on the other side of that wall would have heard me. So if they were just in like the right place, right time, I would have been a dead man. So let me in. I want the loot. I don't know what I'm looking for now. Those? Eat food. That's an easy choice. Get rid of the bleed thing, so I'm going to use my Salua. It's pretty comparable here. Okay. Cool. What a quiet raid. Maybe it'll all happen at the end. So I turned away to the left so that I would be able to go prone after searching. Mostly, I guess, just looking for upgrades, some like this. So I just discarded my mask, alt-clicked the smoke mask. Smoke mask is worth 28,000. Funny enough. And we're just going to go the noisy way. Because I know all I need to do is clear there. And check this. We're good. And in this spot, and if I want to catch my breath and, you know, get my bearings, I would come pop in right here. Oh, the OPSKS, yes, dude. So with the OPSKS, there's like a Christmas reward that everyone got. They got the basically the top tier ammo. That weapon's great. It's a great beginner weapon. And the nice thing about the OPSKS is it's got a dovetail mount, which this gun does not have. So there's like rivets right there. Oh boy. Missed him just at like the top left of his head. So yeah, the gun, these little rivets right here, you would fit a mount on there, and then that allows basically like this sight, but there's like an extended down version. You can just slap on the side of the gun and you're good to go. You only have 10 shots with the internal mag, but it's like the ultimate budget weapon. I literally was about to push my map button that I use in other games to bring up my map. Okay. Well then. Yep. We can see here, someone's used the Storm's vehicle exit. That's good for us to know. We know that one less player is in the map. Crossroads will always be our extract when we spawned on the side of the map that we did. Let's look around. So I want to check this dude out. So I'm going to put this gun on, equip that gun, and immediately discard it. The reason I did that is because I get the EXP for looting. Control click. I don't carry a knife so that I can always have an extra slot for a knife. Now we're up and away. Get back to our safe position. Fastest way to do what I just did there is to always move to like the 2 square items. And ideally I would have had the 2 square items all organized nicely down here. This worked out okay. So this is great. Now we have some extra space. I want to keep my ammo accessible. We got our splint accessible. And then our loot in here. Just perfect. So what I could do actually, let's insurance fraud. So I think the easiest way to do this is I'm just going to drop my rig right here for now. We're going to equip this one. I'm going to take this one. Put these items down here. So I'm going to lose a little bit of space because of this, but insurance frauding is important. So let's just do all this. I'm going to get somewhere different and then drop my rig, I think. Is this a good spot? Let's do it here. Okay. So we've hotkeyed that med, hotkeyed this med, reorganize our container. Useful stuff, expensive stuff towards the bottom. We'll put everything that we're going to use potentially in our rig. Make sure I save a space for my mag. And now I know that well, I don't know for certain, but there's a very high chance that I'll still get this back in insurance. This spot, I mean, it's possible that someone might run through here and grab this. If I wanted a better spot like any other bush on the map. But now, the reason why I wanted to do that is because if I die, there's 0 chance of somebody looting the WT rig off of my person because it's somewhere else. So I try and do this with as much as I can. Ideally, we'd be able to do this with our backpack, our rig, our helmet, headset, potentially, armor maybe. Probably not our weapon. But yeah, the rig, backpack, armor, headset, and helmet are definite possibilities for insurance frauding on a kit like this. I know a lot of people hate this cache. Like, it's so loud. It is loud stepping on metal. Visor not that great. Bleach not that great. Helmet we will take. So I'm gonna control click. No, it won't let me. Alt click. And we're gonna dump our helmet somewhere. We was just talking about that. To be a good spot. Bye-bye, helmet. And so that's how you make money with insurance. So now I can and to like give you the overall picture of it is that I don't need to carry out my helmet now. I can just wear this one out and then I'll get that other one back, you know, in whatever 2 days. So I'm effectively like creating more space for my character, and I did the same thing with my rig. You know, it's always nice to have a rig to increase your space in your backpack, but this worked out better for us. I do try and avoid trees and bushes and whatnot while I'm walking, and there often is a path that you can take that will be the most quiet and kind of like thread the needle in a lot of situations. But I mean, a little bit of movement through a bush isn't going to be the end of the world. I do try and avoid them when I can. So this spot up here can get a little bit weird. My last PMC run, I actually died on here when I was on my standard account to a scav that was right up here in front of us. To a guy just like that. You got friends? We get into the food place. Oh, please. Kick down the door. Oh, you didn't manage to get it, Gucci? Dude, they'll have more sales that come on. If you're like planning on it and you've got the resources saved up. Oh, I didn't bring money for the car. Oh, crazy. Most of the time roubles aren't worth taking, by the way. Unless you can have more than 10k in your square. Roubles aren't worth. So I think this guy's got a rig that we want. We're gonna do it. Oh, this is potentially gonna be bad. 2 square items. 1 square items. Get rid of those. Move, move, move. Get out of the way. Glasses. No. I'm so paranoid about laying in roads. It's awful. Okay. So we're doing well here. So I get the increased value of the rig that I'll be able to sell. I still retain my 9 spaces that are here, and then the rig's giving me an extra space. This is one of the better money-making things that you can end up doing while in the raid. This is ideal for insurance. So we've insurance frauded our mask. We didn't have glasses, but we're going to make some money off them. Found a knife, found a pistol. So we're like taking up all of these slots here for money. We found a weapon, and the only thing I haven't found is a backpack. Get across the street. Clear this area down here. Make sure there's no monkeys just laying in wait. Yeah, looting a guy in an open field is a terrible idea. So like, this is another thing too. Like you could call that decision that I made there a total mistake. So that guy had a WT rig, right? So effectively we thought it was like 11k. He's giving me 1 extra space. Well, let's say that space is worth 10k. So that's 20k right there. Awesome. So we got 20k off of that guy. And I just risked all of this for 20,000 rubles. That's probably the dumbest play that I made the whole game. You know? Don't let your greed ruin a good raid. And someone asked me recently, like, do I... Oh, a hemostat. Oh, yeah, baby. They're like, do you play a corner like this and, like, peek like that? Or do you peek like this and then move over? And I guess the answer is I definitely do both. Ideally, when I peek, I try and finish off the peek with the lean. Not like move into it, but I mean if you're just quickly moving in, then I don't think that there's really a wrong way. So we can get rid of this since we got this. Awesome. So what I want to do is I still have 13 minutes left in the raid, so you know we're playing the raid out a fair bit, which is something that, you know, I think that you can really take advantage of the raids like that when you're newer. We're playing in a way that's keeping our survival up quite a bit, and you know it's not the most exciting raid from a PvP combat standpoint, but the reality is most people that I run into for PvP at this point are going to be able to outclass me with just their equipment. So I have to be really smart about which fights that I take. So I'm okay with that. Like, I would rather just level up my character and, you know, keep kind of plugging away slowly at the game. You will get more than enough PvP combat as you play. Whether you want it or not. I'm sure some people would rather not run into anyone. So I'm taking this long way because I want to extend the potential for picking up a little bit more loot on the way out. And this would be the way for me to go. A little bit safer to take the left side versus the right side. Not that the right side can't be... or the left side can't be just as dangerous, but I find that this area is a little bit easier to move through. And it gets us into a good looting position for the end of the map. So we're actually going to cross over into here. There's a couple of loot spawns I'm going to check. Don't know why anyone would be there at that point in the game, but you never know. There's a key spawn right on that seat. There's a shoreline key that can spawn right there. It's worth about 50k. It's worth your time. This spawn was shown to me by a viewer recently. So where I just got that keck tape, you can find a Tetris right there. So remember this. Remember this. If you're playing customs, right under the tower, right underneath that little stairway right there. So random. Okay, and the reason why we came this way is because of that spawn and oh. It's a player. Wow. I need to reload my gun. Use my one grenade. Just in case, you know? Oh, thank you. Ooh, maybe not the best idea. Yeah. I'll be out soon. Gonna go eat dinner and then finish my schoolwork. Painkiller? We don't have much hydration. I do have a hot rod if I need it. So I'm not certain that that was a player scav, but it seemed a lot like it. I don't know, they're getting better and better. These little players, these little NPC scavs. Oh yeah, peeking the same spot twice. I try to never do that, if possible. I think I might go ahead and surgery my character just because I want the experience. But then maybe not. I don't know. I've got a little bit of time to decide. I'm probably going to get dehydrated. That's okay. Oh, that's fun. How much is this? Actually, yeah, let's fix our leg. Multi-voop. Great content for newbies. Learned a lot. Yo, appreciate it, dude. I definitely like am directing my focus for folks that are new. This is like my supplement from what I was doing previous to when I got into school, and I was doing like pretty regular Sherpa raids. And I don't quite have time to do that right now, so teaching people to play would be the next best thing via Twitch or YouTube or whatever, you know. I'm glad you you find the content valuable, dude. Thanks for saying so. And always, if you're watching, feel free to ask any questions you'd like. I'll happily take the time to talk you through anything. The belt. So 2 square items, move those over. 1 square items, move those over. Get rid of this. I know I need to create enough for a 4x4. Control click that. And on this guy here, we can take off the silencer, grab a key. I can do the little like experience thing, so I'm going to alt click delete. Delete is my key. And then 50,000 roubles. I'm pretty sure that was a player scav. From the safety of my little spot here, we're just going to quickly peek into this. I'm just going to get rid of those. What key are you? 207. No idea. We'll toss some more stuff into this. Put in the 1 square spaces. Still got a little bit of time. Not much. 6 minutes is plenty. Something we can do for a little bit of extra experience is we're just going to click these guys. I'm not going to bother trying to loot them. If I want to do insurance fraud, my... Uh-oh. Watch the aim there, Jet. If I wanted to get a little bit more armor, that might be a good play. Oh, like this right here. Get rid of that pistol. This one's got a... It's got a flashlight on it. Just gonna move through this a little quicker. So that other armor I'm going to get back in insurance, and now I'll have one to repair. And we've essentially insurance frauded our whole kit. While I'm looting, I can pack my mags, which is a really great use of your time. We're not going to take up too much time doing it, though. I'm going to move from cover to cover. I keep getting spooked. This has been looted recently. Somebody's having a bad time. We're now in pain because we're dehydrated. Search it because why not? Okay. Most often, if you're doing loot cache runs and you're hitting all the duffel bags, you'll find drinks in the raid. And I've noticed that customs is pretty good for that. But if you're using like painkillers a few different times, you are going to need to find some liquid or bring it in with you, which is pretty common later on. And I think you get some bottles of water in the beginning. You know, you might keep that in your secure container or something. I don't know. But that's a decent amount of experience. Where was our EXP? So 4,700 for like, you know, a pretty low-key raid, right? And then, of course, so if I had tasks in there that I was looking for, I would have built them into the whole process as I had gone. I would have gone and spent a whole bunch of time looting the map, and then I would go and do my tasks, like, I don't know, halfway through the raid or towards the end of it. And you know, that's when it's going to be easiest. And it really depends on what you're looking for. If your goal is survival, money making, and completion, then you draw out the raid, make your money at the beginning. So loot focused as your primary objective, tasks as your secondary objective. And I never force tasks to happen either. If if I'm not comfortable going into the area, I'm not going to just barge my way in, try and make it work, and then, you know, die and lose whatever. I'll just play the raid out, you know, live to fight another day, come back in, try it again the next time. And I find that as long as you enjoy the map, which is usually because you understand the map, you've played some time on it, you've learned it. So as long as you enjoy the map, like it never really sucks to go back to a map. But the maps that do suck are the ones that, you know, usually, again, you don't really know them. So like for me, Reserve is fun for me now, but for a while Reserve wasn't very fun, and I don't really enjoy Woods at the moment. But it's also because Woods is so new that I don't see like the changes in how they all connect, so I get lost, and then yeah, that's just no bueno. But a lot of people don't like Woods, so it is what it is. Anyways, that's gonna be it for the raids for tonight. Just gonna check back in with a little bit of the last comments here, and then we're gonna sign off. Multi-boot plays sneaky all the time. I'm running only on open field, still hard to move fast because I'm only level 14. Yeah, you'll be able to move quicker as you understand the maps more, like definitely for that. And then as you gain more experience in the game, like you can definitely move quicker the better player you are, so you can push that a bit. So if you want to play quicker, then it's totally available. But you'll notice that a lot of people that are really good at the game still don't run around like a maniac. There's definite play styles, and aggression wins in a lot of situations. So I think, like, I play my normal play style outside of like this educational format is I play quick in a lot of scenarios, slow in select scenarios, and then very aggressive when I need to be. But I also try and ambush the crap out of everyone that I possibly can, because if I can like take somebody out easily, I'm going to do it that way. Yoshi says, thanks for the helpful videos. Just picked up the game the other day and I learned a lot of stuff from you. Awesome, dude. Welcome to Tarkov. It is a grind, right? And yeah, definitely thanks for saying that you appreciate the support and the content. I am still working on finishing out the guide series for the different maps, and I'll continue doing these live sessions. So they're brief. You know, I get about an hour and a half. In the future, I hope to be able to add a little bit more time into stuff like this and be able to spend more time on the videos. But, you know, working at it little bits at a time as much as I can. Full-time student, so definitely got to split my time up a little bit, and I make sure I keep some time away from like working gaming time. Yeah, the aim thing is a tricky one too, Phantom. I find that if you have a really terrible aim, you probably need to play even more slowly and more ambush style. I practiced for a while There's actually like some really simple techniques that you guys can do. Like, so if this is not Tarkov related, but if you're wanting to improve your aim, I'll show you something that I created a little while ago, and this actually helped me quite a bit. So you'll see my little background here, and I can make this graphic available. People usually use things like Aim Labs or Kovacs. So what this is I've broken down, like I've done some like mouse mechanics theory, and I know this is still new and a lot of people have spent time researching and figuring this out, but my theory behind mouse mechanics is that you need to be able to create straight lines, you need to be able to create curves. So straight lines either going on the X and Y axis or going on both, and then curves are going to be part of your tracing aim. So if a character is moving in an arc and they're moving like backwards, you got to be able to like slowly arc your mouse. Most of the time though, it's straight lines. So that's what this is just a series of straight lines that I'll practice on my desktop. I did this actually, so I spent about 200 hours in Kovacs working on my mouse aim, and my mouse aim got like pretty good. I would say that I have a like well above average aim. But after I guess it was about 3 weeks of practicing this, and I would do like 8 traces. So I just go up, I do that 8 times, and then I would go down like this, and it would be probably pretty easy to make yourself this graphic in Paint. But if you would like it, just reach out to me on Discord. I'll happily send it to you. And this has had a positive impact in my my like flicking. It's really weird because I haven't done any other aim training, and I definitely like felt my normal progression of aim being advanced in some way, and I'm positive that it was from working on this. And 2 things that really helped were, one, just staying consistent with this, but being able to go from like, say where this sodium is to the nails, and starting to get to practice that kind of thing. Yeah, anyway, I don't want to get too much into that. Waiting for the woods guide. Me too, dude. And once you get the mark at Yoshi, the game definitely opens up a bit, but it's not like the solving all end or like be all end all of the game. There's still a surprising amount that's like limited to you, but you know, you can buy everything in the game. Like there was a dude that I killed on reserve that was a level 10, and he had this gun on him, which I don't know, probably costs like 200k to make, which I'm assuming that the dude was like, he either got funded by a buddy or he's an RMT player, or I don't even know how level 10 ends up with that, but he had like all the good gear. He had killer armor on, he had, you know, he had the stuff. Just crazy. Anyway, y'all have an awesome night. Thanks for the chat. Thanks for the comments. Feel free to reach out, like I said, on Discord if you have any questions. Otherwise, I'll see y'all back here. And you know, my stream times are Tuesdays and Sundays, 6 o'clock Pacific. And look forward to seeing you again in the future. Oh, yeah. It was an all right stream. Hour and a half. Pretty good. Pretty good. All right, take care, folks.